Incrid wakes up to the sound of the world's worst alarm clock. Yes, folks, it's just a normal day in the trenches. The guy beside him is having an entire meltdown because there's a bug in his boot. Our guy just mutters, "Can we not?" Yep, that's our MC, and his name is Incrid. Apparently, he caused some trouble and got demoted to squad leader of these absolute dimwits. Seriously, this squad, they're a whole mood. But anyway, they're off to the battlefield to be human meat shields. Our boy Incrid here doesn't have special powers or anything. No cheat codes or OP stats here, folks. Just pure grind. Every level up was earned through endless, brutal training. But even then, he's getting absolutely wrecked. He's just a mid with zero talent. His ultimate quest, though, was to become a knight. Even if everyone laughed and told him it would never come true, he still kept hoping. He had this insane belief that as long as he held a sword in his hand, he would become a knight. But that dream just officially ended, nerfed into oblivion. He just got stabbed in the throat. Blood pools in his mouth as HP hits 0. And just like that, he dies. What a pathetic L. But you didn't think it would end there, did you? Suddenly, he sees a blue flame. He's kneeling in an endless pool of water. And then guess what? The most annoying alarm clock in the world jolts him awake again. He thinks it was all a dream. But then the roommate starts the same morning rant. "Arg, it's a bug." The exact same lines, folks. His eyes widen. Wait, what? Is this just super strong deja vu? The battle sequence starts up all over again. And he dies again. Death number 2. Then the third time. A fourth death, just for variety. He jolts awake again. He touches his neck where he got stabbed through. He can still feel the blade, the burning, the blood. It's too real. And that was when Incrid realizes that this was not a dream. He was stuck in an endless time loop, forced to relive his own brutal, tragic death over and over again. This is actual nightmare fuel. Again, the perfect stab. For the 17th time, Incrid locks eyes with that same fatal blade tip. His 17th death. Bro must be tired. Then, a pained gasp. Blood erupts from his neck. He's left kneeling, full of that classic if only regret. Would things end differently if he had put in just a little more effort? Maybe then he wouldn't be dying here. Again, surrounded by chaos. Do you really think that? A mysterious voice echoes through the darkness. A ghostly ferryman approaches, rowing a long boat through the void. The voice tells him to try struggling. It wants him to feel the despair of facing a wall he cannot climb, and give up. But has Incrid given up? Nope, not one single bit. So then, it's back to the start. The alarm starts banging. He opens his eyes. His bunkmate, Rem, is on his bed. "Squad commander, you woke up immediately today?" Incrid cuts him off. "Rem, you have bugs in your boots?" Rem looks down, confused, then lets out a panicked shout and smashes the bug. Rem freaks out. "Did you put it in?" Incrid calmly replies, "Shut up. Saw it crawl in earlier." This is his 18th time seeing that bug's corpse. He is not amused. Looking out the tent flap, he wonders, will he be able to finish it this time? He's wielded a sword since he was young, always dreaming of being a legendary knight, like the heroes in stories. A knight who could sway a battlefield alone. An invincible hero, the knight of the end. For a while, he truly thought he was the protagonist. Main character vibes, you know? So he left his village, time to become a knight. Reality hit hard. Mercenaries mocked him, called him a coward. Not even good enough to be a free merc. Joined a merc corps. Quickly learned his talent was nothing special. Big oof. Too early to give up. He refused to believe hard work betrays you. No talent? No problem. He'd overcome it all, with time and effort. And he did. He gained strength, enough to be acknowledged. He roared to the heavens, convinced he was getting stronger. He could actually become a knight. But that strong hope, it soon started to shatter. It happened when he lost a duel to a kid. Yikes. The kid looked at him with disdain. "Old man, you're weak." Kid was 12, only 6 months into his sword grind. Talk about a skill issue for Incrid. The crushing reality set in. All his hard work for nothing? No way out? But even then, one desire burned under the stars. Hey, and I want to become a knight. So he trained, sacrificed sleep and food, swinging his sword again and again, pure grind, pushed himself to the brink, screaming through the pain and exhaustion, trained until he couldn't stand. Sweat and tears mingled on the ground. Day after day, the sun rose. Solitary training, countless slash marks on the tree, hard evidence, folks. He came to a resolution. Even if he can't become a knight, he can at least be an experienced soldier. He lets out a primal scream, pouring every ounce of frustration and resolve into his training. 3 years pass, and Incrid is now in the Cyprus division, clawed his way up to commander of a second-rate squad. Not too shabby. He finds one of his men, Jackson, slacking off. Jackson looks up, annoyed. What is it? Incrid tells him to cover morning duty, promises to repay the favor later. Rem chimes in, comments on Jackson's nasty glare. Incrid turns to him, Rem, but Incrid has a different request. Heart of the Beast. I want to learn it again. Rem seems amused. Didn't you give up last time? Think it'll work now? But Incrid already knows the answer. Endless loop of deaths. All the time in the world to practice. He's repeated this day so many times. He's already mastered the heart of the beast. What a grind set. He's also perfected the one thing that matters. How to stab. His kill stats must be wild. He relives the loop's start, dying in the Nalilia versus Aspen battle, only to come back and do it all again. Every single time he revives, he learns the heart of the beast from Rem. Despite all the training, all the loops, he still can't see the sword that kills him. But not this time. Today for sure, things will be different. Sun rises. 2 armies stand ready. A sea of soldiers, prepared for war. Soldiers let out a deafening war cry. The charge begins. This is Incrid's 21st time on this same battlefield. He's memorized every move. First, dodge the spear aimed for his back. Next, block the sword attack from the guy behind him. And now, he knows exactly what's coming. He glances at Vel, a member of another squad. He knows this man is about to die. Or rather, he died every other time. But this time Incrid is there. Blocks the fatal arrow with his shield. Vel stares in disbelief. Not safe yet. An enemy soldier leaps. Sword raised to strike. Incrid's plan worked. First goal complete. He saved Vel's life. Mission 1, secure. But now for the hard part. The real boss fight. Incrid turns to face his nemesis. The one who always ends him. Bro is his personal Grim Reaper. This is the guy. The one who stabbed him in the neck. Killed him 20 times. Incrid takes a sharp breath. Focus absolute. This time, he will survive. He remembers Rem's harsh training. Look, you always close your eyes when there's danger, he scolds Incrid. If you do this on the battlefield, you'll die immediately. Rem's final lesson echoes. Be brave. Become a bastard. One who knows nothing about death. Become a beast. That is the heart of the beast. Incrid stares down his nemesis, the knight in purple armor. Killed him 20 times before. He remembers Rem's lesson. The key is the heart of the beast. The true beast. One who doesn't know death. He asks himself a simple question. Am I afraid of death? The answer? Hard no. Death just makes him stronger. More XP, am I right? With a surge of strength, he parries the knight's first strike, gritting his teeth from the impact. His heart thunders, a frantic drumbeat of survival. He thinks to himself, for the first time. On his 21st attempt, he actually dodged the attack. But hold up, his killer isn't done. He pivots quickly and, bam, right in the throat. So near yet so far. Man, that's brutal. So back to the river Styx he goes. And another lecture from the ferryman. Just give up, get on the boat. Accept his weakness. Find peace in defeat. Will our MC listen this time? Of course, it's a big fat no. He saw the sword and this time he dodged it. He's moving forward, one step at a time. On his 22nd day, he's ready to challenge death all over again. And challenge it he does. Our boy jumps right back into the fray. A whirlwind of clashing steel and desperate cries. Yep, this is the 33rd time Incrid has faced this exact moment. But hey, this run is different. This time, he can actually see the incoming attack clear as day. He totally thinks he can change his fate, ready to juke before that blade even scratches him. Get it, King? Oh wait, no, too fast. The enemy is way too fast. And just like that, our boy is down. Another failed run. As his life fades, a familiar blue pendant tumbles from his neck, landing right in the battlefield dirt. Suddenly, Incrid's mind flashes back. We are talking way back to his mercenary days when he was just taking out monster contracts. He helped some random village, not for the sweet coin, but because his ultimate dream was to be a knight. What a pure soul. The villagers, bless their poor hearts, could only offer him a simple charm as thanks. Hey, it is the thought that counts, right? It was a laughable reward for risking his entire life, but the old man swore it would grant his deepest prayers. Sure. Back in the present, lying in his own blood, Incrid stares at that very charm. Is this the reason his day keeps repeating? All this pain, all this dying, just so he could become a knight? His killer, that menacing warrior, looms over him, offering some totally fake mercy. You must be in pain, he says. Yeah, no kidding, dude. Mercy, my butt, Incrid thinks, glaring up at his killer with pure defiance. He sees the twisted glee, the pure pleasure in the man's glowing red eyes. He brings the sword down for the final brutal blow. Clang, clang, clang. That familiar, obnoxious sound of a pan being beaten by a ladle rings out, snapping him back to reality. And just like that, he's back at his Minecraft spawn point. Rem is mid-scream about inspecting a boot, with Incrid saying he put that there. Rem totally freaks out, asking if Incrid has finally lost his actual mind. Probably a valid question, honestly. Without a single word, Incrid stomps on the bug, then turns to Rem with a calm, unnerving smile. Teach me the heart of the beast, he demands. Rem just stares for a beat, completely bewildered, before suddenly lunging, striking without a warning. But Incrid's eyes are laser-focused. He perfectly blocks the blow, stopping Rem's weapon just inches from his neck. Big brain play. Rem is utterly stunned. What are you doing? How are you so tough, all of a sudden? Incrid's simple answer, I trained. He has done this exact dance more than 10 times. He learned this whole tough sensation from death itself. Encrid just brushes off Rem's questions, casually grabbing a sword. One more round of sparring, he declares, ready for the grind. A wide, eager grin spreads across Rem's face. Sounds great, he shouts. This guy loves a good fight. Encrid knows the heart of the beast won't save him if he can't actually land a single strike. He braces himself as Rem comes at him with a giant axe. He dodges just in time, Rem's axe missing his head by literally a hair. Close call, my dudes. The only sword technique he knows is a super sloppy mercenary style, apparently developed by some random guy named Valen. Not exactly top tier. It is a petty trick, and his form is weak. Rem easily knocks him off balance, roasting him for his poor lower body strength. Ouch. Still, among all the moves he has got in his kit, this is the most decent technique. Gotta work with what you have, right? He launches into a super low stance, totally surprising Rem with the sudden, aggressive change. Bet he didn't see that coming. He flashes back to his killer's face, then thrusts his sword forward, perfectly mimicking that lethal stab. Spooky. In a genuinely surprising move, he just lets go of the sword, sending it spinning through the air. For just a moment there, our boy became that monster. Dude really copied the ops moves. After dying to that same stab more than 10 times, his body perfectly remembers the motion. Muscle memory said, I got you, fam. Rim is actually impressed. That stab was the most decent thing you have shown me so far, he admits. High praise from this guy. But he explains it needed more impact. Enough force to make his hand actually bleed. Seriously, Rem? The problem, Rem says, is that Encrid is too full of self-doubt. Classic protagonist flaw, am I right? He hesitates, always worrying about what to do if his attack gets blocked. Gotta commit, my dude. Rem's advice, attack with pure conviction. Go in thinking, you are dead meat now. That way, he will never lose his grip. Savage. Rem's explanation might be crude, but Encrid totally gets it. Sometimes you just need that direct approach. He flashes back to the battlefield, remembering the key difference in that enemy's brutal stab. Time for a light bulb moment. As he chokes on his own blood, the truth hits him like a truck. He lacks confidence in his sword. His enemy, on the other hand, taunts him with a final sickening bit of mercy. What a troll. And then comes the final, utterly merciless blow. Brutal. The realization hits him he has to stab with the full intent to kill. With a fierce shout, he hurls his training sword. This is serious now. This new resolve fuels him, but death is still a constant companion. Day after day, he faces that same manic grin and the same cold steel. But he refuses to stop. Even if it is just a quarter step forward, he will take it no matter how many times he has to die. What a legend. The days bleed into one another. The 111th day. The 123rd day. Each one ends in blood and agony. Brutal stats. His nemesis is always there, always with that same taunt, effortlessly parrying his attacks. Then finally, on the 124th day, something changes. With a full-throated roar, Encrid unleashes everything he has learned, lunging at Rem with raw power. Rem moves to block, but the attack is faster, cleaner, deadlier. Encrid's blade stops just shy of his throat. He did it, stunned. All Rem can do is stare. Are you crazy? He finally manages. Probably. Rem, probably. Encrid's hands are a total mess, torn and bloody from the sheer force of his own grip. Oof. That is commitment. Rem points out his gushing hands, asking why he is laughing like a complete madman. But Encrid can't stop the crazed, triumphant grin spreading across his face. Pure, unhinged victory. Because he has finally done it. He has mastered that enemy's perverted, brutal stab. Fresh off mastering that brutal stab, Encrid is ready for his next death. His goal be just a little faster. As the warrior charges, he steels himself. This time, he's going full murderous intent. No holding back. He lunges, sword high, ready to pull off the move that's killed him like 100 times. But his enemy's ready. His sword meets solid metal instead of flesh. So close. Boom! The enemy sidesteps, brutal neck slash. Ouch. So yeah, his perfect stab attempt, total fail. But not this time. He won't blink. He won't even drop his sword. He remembers every single clash, every stab. It's all downloaded in his brain now. His enemy looms, heavy breathing. You look like you're suffering. His killer's sword is raised for the final blow. This is mercy, he says. Encrid makes a promise. Tomorrow. The enemy pauses, totally confused. You're going to die. He knows every word, every move. It's all in his head, folks. The enemy scoffs. The dead have no tomorrow. Then, stab. As he fades, that blue pendant glows again. Boom, he's back. He wakes up to a bug, and this time he crushes it. No hesitation. Rem is startled. I saw him head in a while ago, Encrid tells him. Then Encrid says, if you're thankful, take my guard duty. Rem just stares, completely baffled. Why is this pushover commander suddenly bossing him around? It's day 125. Things are about to get wild. He tells Big Eyes to get him shin armor, a shield, and a dagger. Promise to pay later. Big Eyes is confused by the new bossiness, but hey, It's an order from the squad leader. Another squad mate chimes in, roasting them for dumping tasks on Incrid. The others just think Incrid's acting super intense today, or maybe just weird. But it's more than intense. This is the focus of a guy who's died 124 times, my friend. Even with his resolve, he can't shake the pain of every single death. Doubt creeps in. What if he never wins, even after thousands of tries? What if he breaks the loop? Does he get a new day, or is he stuck here forever? He's stronger, so maybe just be content? Nah, he has to surpass this curse, or maybe this weird blessing. His resolve is ironclad, period. Quickly, he dons his new gear, chest plate, shin guards, then the shield. Gotta keep moving forward. Squad at his back, he charges into the fray again. The battle is a chaotic mess of clashing steel. No special skills. He knows he needs 3 things to survive: preparation, luck, and a super cool head. Day 47 flashback, he dodged a mace, then his head was crushed by another guy. Day 52, he tried a spinning slash, but his foot cut clean off. Oof. Day 84, his head is split open by a thrown axe. That axe thrower always interrupts his fight with the boss monster, but his throwing practices pay off. He hurls his dagger, taking the axe thrower down. Next, we have the Claw of the Hawk. No time to fight, but Incrid knows the drill. Shields up, the arrow thuds into his shield while a clean beheading happens inches away. Threats neutralized. Time to face the literal wall. He spots his nemesis. The guy turns and stares at him. Incrid stares back, unflinching. What a Chad. They square up, ready to collide while chaos rages all around. They charge. A collision course in the chaos of war. Incrid meets him head-on, blocking the powerful swing with his new shield. His sword shatters, but the block works. Okay, this is a better strategy, folks. The enemy's strong, a prodigy even. But Incrid's got one thing that the prodigy lacks: experience. The enemy is shocked. He expected a charge, not a block. Lacking real experience, he's easily surprised. Incrid takes full advantage of this. Incrid knows the Velen mercenary sword technique is his opening. Bullseye, right into the enemy's arm. With nothing held back, he lunges at his opponent yet again. For the first time, Incrid sees it, pure panic in his killer's eyes. The enemy swings his massive sword wildly, but Incrid dodges it perfectly, completely unfazed. He's built different. The attack throws the enemy off balance, stumbling him forward. Red glow in his visor flickers. He's rattled, for real. Incrid's eyes narrow. He knows everything about this guy's signature move. He's seen that stab 100 times. He has died to it 100 times. He's faced this impossible wall, mastered the heart of the beast, and can pull off that same perfect stab himself. With a grimace, he declares, "I won't abandon this fight." Inches before impact, the enemy's sword crumbles to fragments. What is going on? Just then, an arrow from Claw of the Hawk comes flying in. His nemesis, disarmed, desperately reaches for the sword. Incrid holds his ground, fingers locked around his sword in anticipation. "I win," he tells himself. A massive arrow hurtles in from afar. But look what we've got here. Incrid slams the blade directly into the warrior's neck with a sickening crunch. Fatal hit. Rem yells, "That Claw of the Hawk jerk." From above, the battlefield sees it, a perfect fatal strike. He's now standing victorious over the guy who killed him 124 times. The battle continues as Incrid finally breathes, sweat pouring down his face. He looks down at his nemesis, the reality of his victory finally sinking in. He raises the sword, thinking, this is mercy. One final swing, he decapitates his enemy. He sees it. He's finally broken through the wall. No more resets. But wait, it's not over. The tension only tightens. Downed instantly. Who is this side character trying to be relevant? He coughs up. Did his victory just turn to ash? Rem looks on in horror, screaming in disbelief at the attacker. He's a frog, he yells. The new foe is a tall, muscular, blue-skinned warrior, and he's got frog features. Okay, so Incrid's big win, totally ripped away. He's just lying there helpless in front of the formidable blue-skinned frog dude. The warrior just nopes at Incrid. I invested quite a bit in raising this one. I can't believe someone like you defeated him. Meanwhile, Incrid's nemesis is just a headless fountain of black blood, a grim trophy of Incrid's short-lived victory. All Incrid can do is grit his teeth through the searing pain. Our boy is really down bad right now. The new enemy raises his mace, aiming for the finish. Die, he commands. But before that crushing blow can land, bam, an axe intercepts it with a deafening crash. It's Rem, saving the day. These two powerhouses are instantly locked in a struggle, weapons grinding against each other. This is going to be a good fight. Both fighters stare each other down, neither one willing to give an inch. Pure tension. They break apart in a blur of motion, ready for the next round. But wait, an enemy soldier spots an opening and charges Incrid with a spear. Classic battlefield distraction tactic. Too slow, buddy. Jackson spins around, cleaving the poor grunt in two before he can even touch Incrid. Man got quick reflexes. Immediate threat, neutralized. Rem and the blue warriors circle each other, preparing to re-engage. Rem flashes a cocky grin. If you want to cut off our squad commander's head, you need my permission first. Our boy is feeling himself. The frog-like warrior looks genuinely confused. Squad commander? That weakling's the commander? Not you? LOL. Encrid just got roasted by the enemy. Rem sizes up his opponent, thinking about the legendary warrior race of frogs. He knows this isn't going to be an easy boss fight. The frog warrior also wonders why someone this strong is on such a minor battlefield. Looks like he'll have to get serious. Rem's eyes glow with fierce intensity. He knows what he has to do. I'll have to put my life on the line. This is getting intense. But then, plot twist. The frog warrior surprisingly backs down, deciding this battle isn't worth it. What? He just turns and walks away, disappearing into the chaos of the battle. Like for real? Rem watches him leave, muttering under his breath, "Coward. Someone just rage quit, I guess." With the main event over, Rem unleashes his fury on the remaining enemy soldiers. Time to farm some XP. The rest of Encrid's squad follows suit, a whirlwind of blades cutting through the enemy ranks. They look like the newest version of the Avengers. As his squad turns the tide, Encrid's vision begins to fade. Our hero is on the verge of collapsing. The enemy forces break, the call to retreat echoing across the field. Victory. But just as victory seems certain, everything dissolves into darkness. Encrid is back in the void. Oh no, not again. The spectral voice returns. You managed to survive a day, but that's it. You won't be able to withstand the walls that will keep appearing. Is this a new game mechanic? Your fate is to despair and give up, it proclaims. Sounds like a debuff to me. Encrid is on his hands and knees, the word echoing in his mind. Fate? He's clearly not buying it. Slowly, painfully, he pushes himself back to his feet. Get up, Encrid. He stands defiantly. The walls exist to be overcome, he says, his eyes blazing. The figure gives a slight, chilling smile. I'll be waiting eagerly for the moment those eyes completely lose their light. He's out here psycho-flexing in style. Encrid's eyes snap open. He's not in the void or on the battlefield. He's alive, wrapped in bandages. He respawned. Looking around, he recognizes the infirmary tent. No permanent death, just a brief visit to his Minecraft spawn point. Rem is chilling beside him, telling him he's been out cold for 2 days straight. That's a long nap. He reminds Encrid, I saved you from that darn frog, remember? Encrid sits up, confused, trying to piece it together. The memory hits him, a frog warrior. He actually survived. Unbelievable plot armor, my friend. Rem checks on him, explaining he just has a bad concussion. Then he jokingly asks if Encrid remembers his best friend forever. So much for professionalism, Rem. Encrid shoots him down instantly. I never said we were friends? You noble hunter. Oof. Cold. Annoyed, Rem grabs Encrid's face, telling him to shut up. Best friends indeed. He lets go and calls him out for blurting out his secret background. Are you someone I have nothing to do with, or my best friend? Pick one, dude, Encrid jokingly says. This is a new today, a day beyond the loop. He made it out alive. The timeline resets successfully. Suddenly, a red-haired squad mate named Cray starts complaining about the money he spent to get Encrid into the infirmary, demanding to be paid back 3 times. Encrid dryly points out that Cray's was, as usual, nowhere to be seen during the battle. Shocker. Cray's just laughs it off, offering a special discount of double the price instead. What a deal. Later, as the sun sets, another squad member, Jackson, approaches the tent. He silently tosses a small container to Encrid. Apply this twice a day. Don't ask where I got it. Sounds like some rare loot. Encrid recognizes it as Jackson's personal ointment and is totally surprised, since Jackson never shares anything. Oh, that's so sweet. Next to visit is Auden, the big crybaby, a brawny man with long white hair. He just sits by the bed, mumbling and crying. Encrid, clearly not in the mood for waterworks, just tells him, just go, I'm not dead. That night, Encrid lies awake, wondering why his normally self-centered squad mates are taking shifts to watch over him. Is this a glitch in the Matrix? He closes his eyes, considering a new possibility. Could it be they're worried about me? Impossible. Just then, the tent flap opens. It's Ragna, standing watch, always on duty. Ragna sees Encrid's eyes are open and is surprised. He walks in, looking shocked. Commander, what are you doing in the infirmary? The squad just fought a war? He turns his back and takes a loud bite of his apple, waving over at Encrid. Encrid scoffs to himself. He knows there's no way a guy like Ragna is actually worried about him. Get real. Looking around, he notices 2 other soldiers in the tent with him. Infirmary's getting crowded. One is a platoon commander from another company Encrid used to butt heads with. He immediately shoots Encrid a dirty look. What are you looking at? Still salty, I see. The other is just some random, unnamed soldier, quietly staring into space, probably grinding his internal stats. Encrid wonders how a low-ranking guy like that even ended up in here. Must have taken some unexpected damage. Suddenly, the sound of clanking armor echoes through the tent, grabbing everyone's attention. A new challenger approaches. A mysterious figure stands at the entrance. Intrigue builds. A close-up reveals a pointed elven ear and an ornate sword hanging at their side. Fancy. The figure turns, revealing a beautiful, high-ranking elven officer. "Oh, hello there." She looks over the occupants of the tent and asks with authority, "Who's the commander of the 444th Squad?" she demands. Incrid looks up, a giant question mark practically hovering over his head. Is she really talking to him? Our elven officer, still looking imposing, surveys the infirmary. Everyone's a little stunned. One soldier, completely awestruck, whispers, "A fairy, dude, get a grip." But she cuts right to the chase, demanding his unit. This dude, Vengeance, the platoon commander, introduces himself, and she stares him down, asking if his company teaches him to state his race to a superior. Ouch. Vengeance immediately stammers out an apology. He's totally owned. Incrid watches this masterclass, realizing she's definitely the new 4th Company commander. So, our man Incrid sits up and introduces himself. Incrid, commander of the 4th Squad. He's got some guts. The commander offers a faint smile. "I heard good things, so I look forward to your contributions." Okay, maybe she's not so bad. Then she just turns and walks away. Incrid is left totally baffled. Was that it? Just a drive-by hello? But hold up. There's still someone she hasn't formally met yet. She asks the blonde dude, "What's your name?" He fumbles, then awkwardly introduces himself as Krang. Did he just make that up on the spot? Seems like it. Incrid can't believe this guy's attitude. That name was definitely a lie. Gotta be a noble, right? The commander just gives Krang a silent, side-eye glance and finally leaves for good. Incrid watches her go, deep in thought about this whole scene. Later that night, back in the barracks, Incrid starts testing his strength. Pain? Mostly gone. Power? Coming back online. Time to get that grind on, baby. He gets dressed and heads straight for the training area. No rest for the weary. Some bunkmate scoffs, calling him an idiot for trying to act tough. Haters gonna hate. From his cot, Krang watches Incrid leave with a curious look. What's he thinking? Outside, Incrid mentally preps, recalling one of the few useful fighting methods from his childhood. He flashes back to his last battle. That all-or-nothing final attack, total gamble. 100% dead if it failed. He visualizes the attack, every move needing to be absolutely lethal. No room for error. Suddenly, a voice interrupts. "You're working hard." It's Krang, just creeping on him, watching the whole time. Incrid explains he's training his grip and mentally replaying the battle. Grip day and PTSD day combined. Our boy likes it that way. When Krang asks why, Incrid gives a blunt answer, "So I don't get messed up." Keeping it real. Krang presses him. What does he hope to become by surviving? Incrid reflects on his dream, one everyone laughs at, but he's never stopped chasing it, even with zero talent. He grips his sword tightly, then with unwavering conviction, drops the bomb. A knight. Krang's expression? Surprise, not ridicule. Incrid stares back. This is a first for our boy, someone who didn't just laugh in his face. Krang, lost in thought, mutters, "I forgot to." Then he suddenly stands up. He says watching Incrid helped him figure out his next move. Then he just turns and walks away. Mysterious much? Incrid is left alone, pondering this super strange encounter. For the first time, Incrid feels supported. Krang turns back with a smile. "If you become a knight, remember my name. Friend." Okay, that was kinda sweet. The very next morning, the camp is alive with the annoying song of a wandering minstrel. Ooh. Incrid's back in the barracks, annoyed by his squad mate loudly complaining about delayed breakfast. Dude, chill. Taking a walk, he runs into Jackson, who asks about his injuries. He tells Jackson the medicine worked and thanks him. Jackson tells him to hurry back to the squad. So cryptic. That night, Krang wishes him goodnight, and Incrid returns the sentiment before finally crashing. He drifts off, thinking of the lazy, uneventful day, completely ignoring the haters. The next morning, he's jolted awake by that same annoying minstrel's song. Then he hears it, the exact same complaint about morning rations from the exact same soldier. A chilling sense of deja vu washes over him. Wait a minute, he's back at the training grounds. Jackson asks the same question. He gives the same reply. It's all happening again. What the heck? His eyes widen in horror. He's certain it's the same day as yesterday. Groundhog Day much? That spectral voice echoes in his mind, warning of another walls to stop him, taunting him to survive. The terrible truth crashes down. Did I die without even noticing? Mind blown. He feels like total crap. This is even more hopeless than getting stabbed to death. But this new level of despair, it doesn't break him. It just makes him even more determined. Trapped in yet another loop, Incrid faces his new challenge under a starry night sky. Let's go. Lying awake in the dimly lit infirmary, he tries to piece together how he died. The plot thickens. No frontal assault, he figures. Had to be a hidden assassin already inside the camp. Suspicious. His mind immediately jumps to the new elven commander. She knows the layout, moves like a ghost, and is a skilled killer. Obvious much? He recalls her graceful, fairy-like nimbleness. Perfect for assassination, he realizes. Was her infirmary visit just a recon mission to scout the location beforehand? This is a level up for our guy's detective skills. He's about to go full Sherlock mode. He decides on a simple plan, wait for her to show up, then scream to wake the entire barracks. Solid plan, right? But as he waits, a needle flies through the air, embedding itself right into his neck. Oof, a poisonous needle. He didn't even see the assassin. This guy is stealthy AF. His body convulses in agony as the poison takes hold. Not a good look. He tumbles from the bed, completely paralyzed. Can't move, can't speak, full nerve. It's a powerful numbing poison. He finally understands why he died so mysteriously before. Makes sense now. Glancing over, others are hit too. Platoon Commander Vengeance lies still, needle in his neck. Yikes. His eyes widen in horror. A dark, hooded figure is looming over Krang's bed. Oh no, it's the assassin. Encrid seethes helpless as the figure raises a sword. The blade plunges deep into Krang's chest, killing him. Just like that. Poor Krang. As Encrid stares in pure rage, the tent fabric is suddenly sliced open from the outside. What? Through the tear, he sees another loaked figure. Oh snap, a second assassin. Double trouble. How could anyone not recognize that familiar elf ear? And she's holding a vine-like staff too. No doubt now, it's her. The figure pulls back her hood, revealing the piercing eyes of none other than the elven company leader. And just like that, the minstrel's cheery tune starts up again. Here we go, another reset. For Encrid, it's the same darn morning for the third time. Talk about a bad respawn point. He's on high alert, but still can't sense those stealthy assassins. This ain't gonna be a cakewalk. And even if he beats the first crew, he still has to face her, the new company commander, aka the Elven Queen of Assassins. Yikes! That wave of helplessness hits him hard. He felt the same despair in his last loop just days ago. But then he remembers that sweet taste of victory. He won that battle, despite everything. With that resolve, he knows he'll escape this hell. No giving up, not now. Suddenly, he yanks a blanket off Vengeance. Vengeance jolts awake, yelling, "What's with you? You're acting crazy." Sword in hand, Encrid figures the assassins are outside. His bunkmate calls him a psycho. Training for cockroaches with a sword now, are we? The soldier just says, yeah, that kind of training is perfect for low-life grunts. Encrid deadpans, didn't know you cared so much. But Vengeance snaps back, I was being sarcastic, you jerk. I was being sarcastic too, Encrid replies coldly. Vengeance scoffs, telling him to buzz off. Just then, Krang peeks in, a smile on his face. Arguing again? Should I come back later? Encrid tells him to come in as Vengeance mutters about the annoying jerks he's surrounded by. Last time, the assassins were definitely watching Krang. He's the real target, Encrid just knows it. This guy is super suspicious, but what's his deal? What's he hiding? He decides not to pry. No way he's digging into someone's business like those other nosy folks in his squad. Still, Encrid got dragged into this whole assassination mess because of Krang, so he figures he's earned the right to ask, Krang, what are you? Krang turns, a troubled look on his face, but stays completely silent. Encrid wonders if he phrased that wrong. His social skills are probably on par with Rem, after all. Krang finally speaks. What am I? That's not something I can tell you. Encrid asks why not, and Krang just says, it's a long story. The way he said that, man has lore. Dangerous amounts of lore. And Encrid just accepts that non-answer. Even he's confused by himself. But Vengeance is having none of it. Are you kidding me? If you were gonna accept that, don't ask in the first place, you dope. Then he turns on Krang, straight up accusing him of being a spy. For what country, huh? Krang gives him an ice-cold stare. And folks, Vengeance shuts up instantly. That's some serious intimidation stats. Krang just walks towards the stunned commander, radiating pure authority. I have not and will not betray the kingdom, Krang declares. Absolutely unwavering. Encrid watches him. His eyes, his movements, the undeniable aura of a knight, perhaps? This guy's got main character energy. Vengeance tries to pull rank, but Krang just laughs. Sir, ha ha ha. Encrid knows Krang isn't a knight, though. He was totally nerfed against the assassin. Still, he's definitely hiding something big. What could be in his inventory? As night falls, Krang wishes Encrid a good night. The barracks finally goes quiet. Time for the real fun. Encrid lies awake, noticing Vengeance is oddly calm, still spooked by Krang, probably. His eyes snap open. He knows if those assassins barge in, everyone is toast. Game over, man. He quietly gets up and grabs his sword. Vengeance, also awake, asks, what are you doing? Encrid turns to him with a grim warning. Assassins are invading this tent soon. Cooperate if you want to live. He really said collaborate or evaporate. Vengeance just scoffs as Encrid's lost his mind and rolls over. Some folks just don't listen. Across the room, Krang lies peacefully, hands behind his head, but he's definitely listening in. Encrid expected that reaction, but then a sudden thought hits him. How did Krang know he was awake? Plot twist. Before he can react, a poisoned needle flies through the tent and strikes him right in the neck. Critical hit. Horror floods Encrid's face as a spray of blood erupts from his body and he gropes for his blade. In a flash, the assassin slits Vengeance's throat, then stabs Krang through the chest. Encrid falls, powerless to stop the culprit. He wakes up to that familiar morning chant again. The fourth time, he knows he can't get help without solid proof. Informing the higher-ups is useless. They'll just call him insane and tell him to buzz off. Been there, done that. New plan: predict the exact moment the assassins appear, then scream to alert everyone before they strike. Bold strategy, Cotton. He waits in the darkness, senses on high alert, trying to pinpoint the second. Is it now or not? He feels it. Now, but it's too late. A blade cuts his warning short. Oof. Incrid's throat is slit as blood gushes violently before he can react. That assassin is just too fast, too overpowered. Okay, new plan. No help? Then he goes on the offensive. Ambush the ambushers before they can even think about moving. Let's get aggressive. But there's a huge problem. How do you fight an enemy you can't even see? Talk about a stealth check failure. They see his every move, but he's practically blind. As long as he can't dodge that poison needle, he's a sitting duck. Total disadvantage. He wakes up to that familiar morning chant. It's the 20th loop, and for the 20th time, he failed completely. This is giving Groundhog Day, but with way more trauma. 20 times. That number hits hard, but his gaze, pure, cold determination. He's got that main character grit. All right, first things first. Avoid that poison needle. Everything else is secondary. New quest objective unlocked. He needs to be faster than their eyes, and that's when he spots him, Jackson, the quiet one, polishing his dagger. Incrid heads over to Rem and asks about the perverted wild cat. Rem just looks totally baffled. Classic Rem. Rem explains it's Jackson's nickname because, well, he's a dirty pervert. The guy loves stabbing enemies and bailing out. Just then, Jackson spots him and asks if Incrid's okay. But Incrid is already thinking, this guy could probably solo those assassins. But he can't just order Jackson to help. No authority. Another impossible wall to climb all by himself. His stats aren't high enough. And then it hits him. If he can't get Jackson's help, he'll just become Jackson. Level up, Incrid. He walks up to Jackson and asks a very specific question. If you were to backstab me, how would I stop it? This is like a friendship that has trust issues pre-installed. Jackson pauses, thinking it over. Then he says, I'm not sure. No one has ever survived my ambushes. Total flex. Incrid's eyes go wide, but whether in approval or offense, no one can tell. Oof. After a super tense moment, seems like Jackson is about to speak again. Oh, this is going to be good. He says, you'd need eyes on the back of your head. Incrid is utterly baffled. Eyes on the back of my head? What in the world does that even mean? Jackson's timing is absolutely perfect. He just casually points off into the distance. You see that wagon? Behind the tents. Incrid is shocked, wondering how Jackson could even notice something so incredibly far away. Talk about high perception stats. Jackson loves to flex. It's going to fall apart, he predicts. And just like that, a loud crack echoes through the air as the wagon's wheel shatters. You gotta be kidding me. Incrid stares, completely, utterly baffled. Our dude is experiencing a whole new level of reality right now. Are you a prophet or something? He demands, desperate to know how Jackson just did that magic trick. Bro really said, explain your hacks right now. Jackson, ever the minimalist, just points to his ear. Sound. He explains he heard the super faint creaking from the wagon's axle. Man's got super hearing. Basically, if you can hear what's around you, you can predict what's gonna happen next. It's like having future sight, but with your ears. Incrid can't believe it. He didn't even hear the wagon approach, let alone a quiet creak. His stats are clearly nerfed in this area. Jackson advises him to keep listening, to really hone his senses and isolate those specific sounds. Incrid's actually a bit surprised by the thorough explanation. Jackson usually seems too lazy to respond to anything. I am lazy, Jackson admits with peak sarcasm, but it's better than having you on my heels. Fair enough. He adds one last thought, almost a compliment. Seems like you won't give up, squad leader. That night, Incrid lies awake, his new, incredibly challenging path clear. He's come across his second great wall, a faceless death from the shadows. A true stealth assassin type. But now, he has a way to win. He can totally live if he can just sense them first. He focuses, trying to listen to the sounds of the night, the regular footsteps of the patrol, the crackling of the torches. Suddenly, a silent figure leaps from the top of a tent. Uh-oh, game on. Incrid frantically scans the darkness with his hearing. Where are you? The assassin lands without a single sound, not a peep. The air itself signed an NDA. He can't hear anything. Where's that jerk's sound? Incrid panics, but it's too late. A poison needle slams into his neck. Ouch. His eyes go wide in shock and pain as the poison instantly takes hold. Another death, another reset. Of course, he failed. He sits on his bed. So close, yet so far. He feels like he hasn't taken a single step forward. But his body? Oh, his body remembers everything. The experience of 100 battles, the heart of the beast, that perfect stab, it's all etched into his muscle memory like a game save. He recalls Jackson's lesson: you can pinpoint a location based on the sound's intensity and direction. Once you can hear those faint, faraway sounds, your ears become a second pair of eyes. Pretty cool, right? Jackson had even demonstrated it by snapping his fingers. A tiny sound, but it reverberates. That single sound wave rings out in all directions, no matter how silent the source. Science, my friends. The true challenge is to isolate that one single wave from the thousands of others mixed together. It's like finding a needle in a haystack of noise. Back in the present, Incrid is surrounded by the sheer cacophony of the bustling camp. The sounds are all mixed up. He closes his eyes and focuses, needing to listen, categorize, and isolate them. He starts with the flags. To his ears, they all sound like one large flag flapping. How many are there? 7? 10? He needs to separate them. Next, the footsteps. He can distinguish them from right to left, 3 close, and 2 far away. He's getting there. He continues to practice separating the familiar sounds from the unfamiliar ones. This is some serious grinding for his perception skill. Suddenly, a voice cuts through his intense concentration. Incrid? Who dares interrupt the training montage? It's Krang, looking amused. What kind of training is this, NC? Incrid is a little flustered, unsure of how to feel about his new nickname, NC. Krang just keeps going like a true buddy. I'm sure it's fine if that's what you want to do. Incrid snaps back, asking if it looked like he's just sitting around like an idiot. Krang's smile is genuine, though. You're not an idiot who wastes time, right? He asks. The comment hits Incrid and his focus sharpens. Krang's words were a wake-up call in a surprisingly wholesome way. That night, he tries again. A needle flies through the darkness. And again, it finds his neck. Reset, fail, rinse, and repeat. His eyes go wide with the familiar stinging failure. This guy is literally reliving his own death over and over. The assassin then moves on, plunging a sword into the sleeping Krang. The bloody blade reflects the faint light of the tent. Krang gasps his last breath, blood pouring from his mouth. The 33rd day. Another failure. The emotional toll of this is immense. And on the 34th day, it happens again. The assassin leaps, lands, and Incrid hears nothing. Failure after failure. The montage of pain continues. Back in the waking world, Incrid sits amidst the camp's noise. His eyes closed. He's been here for days now. He finally understands. He doesn't need more experience to overcome this wall. This isn't about grinding stats. Incrid realizes it's not about some grand epiphany or divine intervention. It's much simpler and much harder. Sitting in the bustling camp, he focuses, tuning his senses to the world around him like a human radar. He hones in on the tiniest of sounds, the sharp scratch of a bird's talons gripping a distant tent pole. Insane detail. He knows what he has to do. He replays the moment in his mind, the silent descent of the killer, over and over. Suddenly, Krang is standing over him again. He got in close. Krang is completely baffled. I snuck up on you. How did you know I was here? He sounds genuinely impressed. He pieces it together, realizing Incrid was training his perception the whole time. Krang just got schooled by his friend's ear training. With newfound clarity, Incrid dives back into his mental simulation. This time, he's ready. The poison needle, the instrument of his death, over and over again comes straight for his neck. But this time, it's different. His hand flashes up and intercepts the attack. He caught it. He's done it. He's finally overcome the impossible first move. The grind paid off. For the first time, the assassin is stunned, gritting his teeth in shock. This dude has never failed before, I bet. Incrid grins with manic triumph. He's no longer just a victim. The plot is thickening once again. The assassin seethes from the ground. You absolute rat. Incrid sizes him up. Honestly, this dude's stats feel lower than the last assassin. He's totally confident. But wait, his mind flashes to the others. Vengeance is still down and Krang is fighting for his literal life. Still, Incrid knows he can't get careless. This assassin's still a pro after all. Surprise! The assassin launches a dagger. Incrid is sliced. He throws another, but this time, Incrid snatches it right out of the air. Suddenly, a new voice cuts through all the chaos. It's the Elven Company commander. Incrid knows if he didn't attack first, he'll die. She leaps into action, unleashing a storm of needles not at Incrid, but at the other assassin fighting Krang. Krang is absolutely stunned as his opponent gets instantly taken down. Incrid is just as confused by this totally sudden turn of events. The commander lands gracefully, her cloak shielding Krang from any lingering attacks. What a boss entrance. Lightbulb moment. Incrid realizes she's here to protect them. Whatever her reason, this is his chance. He lunges at his assassin while the dude is totally distracted. The assassin roars in frustration, barely managing to parry Incrid's strike. He swears under his breath, then turns his back on Incrid. Knowing he's outnumbered, the assassin makes a run for it, vaulting over the tent wall. Smart move. Krang walks over, stating, that guy was probably after me. Incrid calmly replies, I know. Krang is totally stunned. How could you possibly know that? Incrid, the smarty pants, explains no one would pay a pro assassin for grunts like him or vengeance. Krang had to be the target. The commander compliments his quick thinking, then suddenly grips her sword. The mood shifts instantly. Uh-oh, and Crid realizes the danger. She was an ally, but now she can't leave any witnesses. He readies his dagger, bracing for yet another fight. But Krang steps between them. I have a favor to ask. I don't want anyone to die today. After a tense moment, she actually relents. As you wish. They check on Vengeance, who's still unconscious. Krang asks if he's dead, but the commander assures him the antidote will work. And Crid notes her expertise with poisons. Yeah, she's clearly more than just a company commander. So sus. Now they have a new problem, cleaning up this whole mess without drawing any suspicion. The commander has an idea. There's an easy way. Her solution? Burn it all down. Peace was never an option, apparently. As soldiers rush to fight the blaze, they conveniently find 2 survivors outside. Classic cover-up. Crid coughs dramatically from the smoke, knowing all traces of the assassins have been erased. A bit later, the commander tells Krang he owes Crid his life. Talk about a life debt. She asks if Crid is why he changed his mind. Yeah, Krang admits. Isn't he interesting? Krang looks wistful, saying he's been trying to avoid this whole path. But fate, right? But it seems Crid's sheer will has rubbed off on him. They part ways, promising to meet again in their respective roles. Future team-up confirmed? Back in the familiar void, Crid watches as the symbol of his struggle, the scythe, materializes and then shatters. A man shows himself before him. The voice of the void promises he'll see that man again whenever he wants. Spooky. And just like that, he wakes up. It's morning. A brand new day. He's finally done it. He survived, and he's woken up to the next day's morning. He broke the loop. He said, not today, cosmic glitch. He's back, and he's got a whole lot of work to do. As Crid gets ready to head out, someone he saved from the fire talks to him. It's Vengeance, but he's genuinely confused and asked Crid why he'd even bother. Crid's mind races. Is this guy seriously giving him crap for saving his life? And why does he hate him so much anyway? Crid just scoffs. Because we're comrades. Do I need another reason? As Crid walks off, Vengeance mutters under his breath, calling him a selfless pain in the butt after all the grief he's caused. He then asks if Crid's returning to his squad. Vengeance warns him he's out of luck because the mood over there is absolutely terrible. Did something happen? There's a rumor going around, he says, that this entire base is cursed. Anyway, Ragna and Rem are stuck in yet another verbal sparring match. Don't mess with me, you underdeveloped monkey. Ragna spits. Turns out he's in a full-on brawl with Rem, who just flashes a crazy grin. The fight is drawing a crowd. Other soldiers complain that those lazy troublemakers are at it again, blaming their absent squad leader. Ragna crashes through a tent and immediately gets back in the fight, landing a solid punch on Rem's jaw. Rem retaliates with a brutal right hook, then pulls out an axe. Let me fix your skull with my axe. Not to be outdone, Ragna draws his massive sword, ready to slice the barbarian in half. The onlookers are starting to freak out. Total chaos. Watching the chaos unfold, Crid just lets out a tired sigh. He doesn't know about the base being cursed, but he's pretty sure those 2 pain-in-the-butts are his curse. His voice cuts through the chaos. Knock it off, you idiots. They freeze, staring. You're alive? We thought you were dead. At this point, this man beats death just to babysit grown men. 4 days. Just 4 days since Crid, our resident chaos manager, rejoined his squad. Suddenly, his eyes snap open. Oh, what fresh hell awaits him now? Standing over his bed is Jackson, looking sheepish. He tried to leave quietly. Tried. Crid just shrugs it off. He was already planning his morning grind anyway. Jackson's surprised. He compliments Crid's listening skills, saying he's a fast learner. Crid just says he's been practicing. Jackson tells him that hard work always pays off. True that, my friend. With winter creeping in, battles are slowing down. Crid takes this as an opportunity for some serious grinding. He's laser-focused, determined to level up his stats during this downtime. Bro is in his locked-in era. Good morning, brother squad leader, a voice booms. Crid turns, already looking unimpressed. It's Odin casually doing push-ups with a giant boulder on his back. Gym hacks nobody asked for. He drops the rock with a thud, lecturing Crid. A well-trained body is a weapon, my dude. Odin preaches. Odin gets right in Crid's face, saying he's still too scrawny. Can't even take a frog kick, apparently. Crid deadpans. Aren't you just excessively large, though? But he agrees to try. What a trooper. Just as Odin starts dropping some technique wisdom, chaos erupts from the barracks. Of course, Rem's going full-on Ragna for being lazy, spinning him around like it's nothing. Peak squad energy. Ragna wakes, grabs his sword, and aims to swing at Rem. Before the big ol' swing, Crid steps in, asking the eternal question, are you two fighting again? Crid's like, give it a rest. And Odin hits back with brute force. Doesn't work, bro. Rem's not having it. He rants about Ragna, the directionally challenged jerk who's gonna starve them all. Ragna is told it's his turn to cook. He agrees. Rem's like, wait, so all that fighting was for nothing? But Ragna just pushes Rem's sweaty hand away. Crid steps in, asking Rem if he's just bored, picking fights for fun. You know, like a true gamer with no new quests. Rem grins. Yup, the lack of battles is making him itch for a fight. He needs that PvP fix. Badly. So, he draws his sword and challenges Encrid to a duel. Oh, it's on now. The duel begins. Encrid immediately takes a brutal hit. Oof, that's gonna leave a mark. Rem yells, "You gotta learn how to take hits, dude." Then lands a devastating blow, sending sparks flying. But Encrid stays focused, keeping his cool with the heart of the beast. He's using his hearing to block every attack. And now, it's time for the move. The one he perfected by dying hundreds of times, the stab. He parries Rem's axe, then lunges, aiming for the throat. But Rem's too fast. He catches the blade with his axe, then brutally counters, twisting Encrid off balance. Rem is unimpressed. He expected more, especially after Encrid's recent level-ups. That same stab? So boring. Rem taunts. Got anything new, bruh? Encrid, sweating and in pain, knows he's different. He's changed, truly. No more being a softie. He looks Rem dead in the eyes. Come at me again. I'll properly destroy you this time. Oof, someone grab the popcorn, this beef's about to get cinematic. Rem thinks to himself, Encrid's still a noob, but that fire in his eyes? Always a banger. He loves to see it. He grins, accepting the challenge. You can say that after you actually leave a dent on me. But just as they're about to go again, the sky opens up. It starts absolutely pouring. Seriously? Back inside the barracks, Rem is fuming. Mushrooms are gonna grow on my feet, he complains. What a drama queen. While Ragna sleeps and Auden polishes some mysterious trinket, Kraze bursts in. He's furious. The rain canceled his duels. He rants. We must be cursed. Oh, here we go with the lore dump. Encrid asks, what curse? Kraze looks surprised he hasn't heard the camp rumors. Has our boy been under a rock? Encrid remembers Vengeance mentioning something, and Kraze confirms it. The whole encampment is cursed. He explains, ever since the campfire, injuries are piling up, especially for the scout squad. But apparently, the weird weather just fuels the rumors. Encrid knows the higher-ups will definitely notice this chaos. This ain't good. Kraze asks why he's just standing at the entrance. Training my senses, Encrid replies, cool as a cucumber. Kraze is totally baffled. In this downpour, but Encrid just stands there. The rain, he explains, is the entire point of his training. Big brain hours, wet edition. Inside, Rem calls Encrid a stray cat for his way of training. But Jackson gives a subtle nod, approving the weirdness of it all. Rem snaps, yelling at Kraze for defending Encrid. Then he unleashes his full rage on Kraze for ignoring him, screaming insults into the storm. Meanwhile, Auden is lounging with Krang. He says you can train even while lying down, with Jackson offering to check his stance. Sure, Jackson. Rem says, look at these guys. Yeah, you all noticed, didn't you? He's right. Auden, Jackson, and Krang. One by one, all watch Encrid. There's a new, quiet understanding in their eyes. He's earned it. Rem flashes a subtle smile to Encrid. He sees the glow-up. That night, at a high-level meeting, orders go out. The commanders are tasked to keep the soldiers in check. They need to fill ranks for one last scout party before winter. The Elven Company commander speaks up with a surprising suggestion. What about the 444th squad leader? The platoon commander scoffs. That useless guy? Isn't he a little dumb? What if he totally nerfs the scout party? Ouch. Harsh. But she insists certain Encrid could bring unexpected results. When asked why, she leans forward, eyes sharp, fairy instinct, main character energy, but make it mystical. The next day, under a clear sky, Encrid is summoned to the company commander's tent. This can only mean one thing. I'm being sent to the scouts? He meets her intense, unreadable stare. What's next for our boy? Back at the barracks, Kraze immediately grilled him. Dude, did you seriously tick off the company commander? Encrid had zero clue, but Kraze kept pressing. Why him out of everyone? Encrid figured she wasn't planning to kill him. Her actual target, Krang, had pieced out already. Rem, our resident agent of chaos, asked if he was really going. Then he generously offered to help Encrid ditch it. Encrid scoffs. Like that time you attacked your own commander? But Rem waves it off. That's not what I'm going to tell you to do. Suddenly, Auden launched into a full-on drama act. He was tearfully begging them not to take their precious little squad leader away. Then Ragna's voice cut through the noise. I can go instead. The squad immediately shut him down. Encrid was like, anyone but you. While Rem deadpanned, are you actively trying to get lost? Jackson, calmly sharpening his knife, reminded them. The mission is scouting the tall grass, remember? His advice? Listen for changes in grass sounds. Spotting disturbances is key to dodging ambushes. This, of course, set Rem off. He yelled at Jackson, stop teaching Encrid weird stuff. Encrid knew they'd just evolve into chaos once he left. Was it right to ditch them? But even he had to admit, for this mission, nobody was better. He flashed back to his enlistment. His skills were so meh, he was just a glorified fill-in. The one place he actually fit, leading a squad of total leftovers. Not first picks, but definitely loud picks. Give it a rest, he tells everyone. Rem called him brave, or maybe stupid. Jackson shot back, your butt would be gone without him. Back in the present, Incrid knew his squad had skills. Honestly, he wasn't much combat power loss. No delusions here. He knew his stats. Time to grind and get better. Out in the field, Incrid joined the scout squad. Front lines, perfect place to level up his senses. Hey, you leftover squad leader. Focus. A voice snapped. It was Andrew Gardner, the scout squad leader. He basically challenged Incrid to a duel if he had a problem. Andrew's men piled on, sneering. His outcast squad? Can he even hold a sword right? Andrew smirked. Useless clown. Your squad only works cause of them. Then he launched into a motivational speech. Meet the enemy? We bash their skulls in. Motivational speaker of the year, apparently. Incrid was so unimpressed. This guy was totally green. This mission? Not gonna end well, he thought. Suddenly, a scout called out, tracks in the dirt. Andrew rushed over, super excited. These are new tracks, he screamed. He grinned maniacally, already planning a feast. Follow these tracks. Barbecue tonight, bro turned survival into a cookout. Incrid couldn't believe it. New travel in groups of 20 or more. This idiot wants to fight them? Confidence is high. Survival odds? Not so much. Another scout just sighed. Knew my butt. That's a gazelle. Incrid glanced at the archer. He looked utterly done with Andrew's shenanigans. That archer, Henry, found Andrew totally obnoxious. He and Incrid instantly clicked. They bonded fast. Henry even started teaching Incrid basic hunter skills. Later that night, Andrew was fuming. Entire day wasted on Phantom New. Andrew was desperate for results. Incrid just tried to ignore him from his bedroll. Next day, they hit their destination, the Green Pearl, aka the uselessly tall grass field. Andrew gave another gung-ho speech. Find the enemy scouts, bring them back as prisoners. Henry questioned the order, but Incrid just said, do it. Into the tall grass they went. Incrid was surprised. He expected Andrew to bail, but the dude was actually pushing forward. Incrid pointed out the obvious 0 animal droppings. Henry's face instantly went grim. No animals in a food-rich spot? Yeah, something was definitely wrong. Then, a massive, clawed paw slammed right in front of them. Incrid's eyes went wide. He whipped his head around, heart pounding. He locked eyes with a huge black panther beast, glowing blue eyes. It was ready to maul Andrew. Get down, Incrid screamed, tackling Andrew to the dirt. Crossbow bolts whizzed through the air. 2 of the scouts are hit square in the head. Instant kill. Andrew stared, pure terror on his face. It's the enemy, he shrieked. The ambush was sprung. The entire scout squad was instantly surrounded, pure chaos. Yeah, the ambush was fully sprung. Incrid and his squad were totally boxed in by enemies. They definitely clocked that too late. Ambushed and surrounded, Incrid instantly taps his heightened senses in the tall grass. That listening techniques he learned from Jackson? Clutch. It's definitely coming in handy right now. But this ain't no perfect cheat code. The battlefield's just too damn loud, even for his super hearing. And helpful doesn't mean guaranteed win, apparently. He keeps his attention forward when suddenly the spear attack finds him from behind. He stands, frozen, as the spears pierce his body. Incrid knows the ambush is coming, but trying to warn Andrew and the others? Totally pointless. They'd never listen. So it's time for Incrid to figure out how to survive this solo. The ambush springs. He tries a different path. Nope, he's caught once again. But it's cool, he's got infinite retries. He dies. He resets. He dies. He resets. He dodges crossbows by going north, only to run straight into a whole squad of spearmen. Even when he evades them, they just won't quit. They're in green uniforms. It's the perfect ambush camo for this field. But why? What's so special about this spot? Finally, he sees a breakthrough. Through the grass, he glimpses the enemy's camp. And what happens next is brutal. An Aspen soldier executes him without hesitation. And that's game over. As he bleeds out, one burning question fills his mind. What are they hiding here? Back to the start of the day. Andrew Gardner rallies the troops, promising fat rewards. Same day, new delusion. But Incrid knows the truth. They've tried this dozens of times. It's a death trap. These Aspen jerks are definitely hiding something. Incrid has to find out what. For a moment, he considers giving up. No more dying. Maybe that's how the loop ends. Nope. Instant dismissal. Incrid won't run from this wall. Andrew, ever the Chad in his own mind, yells at Incrid for dawdling. A scarred soldier tries to smooth things over, telling Incrid to just go along with it. Incrid's had enough. Why? There's a limit to how much garbage I can tolerate from an idiot. The soldier is totally speechless, blindsided by the disrespect. But Incrid is resolute. I'm no longer playing this game. Andrew is livid, accusing him of disobeying orders. Incrid knows disobedience is a big no-no. He needs to reframe this whole situation. No more solo runs. This time he's using everyone's strengths to make it out alive. And from now on, he's giving the commands. Leader mode activated. Andrew is absolutely livid. Meanwhile, Incrid's busy sizing up his new team. That scarred soldier is definitely the most skilled here, but he's always sticking close to Andrew. Bodyguard vibes. Andrew predictably challenges him for command. Try to take it if you can beat me. Draw your sword. Incrid analyzes Andrew's stance. All theory, zero practical experience. Gotta be some rich lord's son. No, wait, he's too eager for results. Maybe a fallen noble, desperate to prove himself. Andrew calls him out. You have pathetic skills but a weirdly high rank. You must be some loser who never trains but still expects a paycheck. Incrid thinks to himself, whatever he is, I can't keep following his orders. Andrew snaps, screaming that he has a mission to fulfill, but Incrid just cuts him off. Come at me, bro. I won't even need my sword. Andrew charges, enraged. Incrid knows he's technically skilled, but Andrew's clearly looking down on him. This carelessness is the only opening Incrid needs. He easily parries Andrew's sword. Bro didn't even blink. Then with a swift, powerful hit, he sends Andrew flying. It's over in an instant. Andrew is on the ground, spitting and totally defeated. The rest of the squad is absolutely floored. Henry heard this guy was a bottom-tier soldier. Incrid looks at his stunned squad. From now on, this squad is under my command. Any issues? Henry is still in shock. The scarred bodyguard eyes Incrid intensely for a moment. Andrew can only curse from the ground as the scarred soldier gives a silent, respectful nod. Command secured. Incrid looks ahead. This is just step one. He leads the squad into the Green Pearl, their field of death. The men follow, albeit nervously. Incrid turns to the archer. Henry, what's your dream? Henry is totally confused by the question, asking Incrid why he'd even want to know that. He admits his dream is to marry a beautiful woman who runs a flower shop. Incrid, staring ahead, just says, to do that, you'll need to survive today. Incrid then turns to another soldier. Your lover just had a baby, right? If you don't want your kid to grow up without a father, you need to make it out alive too. The others chime in. One wants to open his own business. Another just wants to get back home. Finally, all eyes are on Andrew Gardner. He says he needs to fulfill his mother's last wish. His mission, his dream, is to revive House Gardner. Incrid knows their responses are all the same. To achieve any of their dreams, they have to survive this mission. He looks back at his men, now united by a common goal. Let's make it out of here alive. The entire squad, even Andrew, now shares a look of grim resolve. Incrid knows there's nothing more motivating than life itself. The enemy is about to show up, and his plan, break right through them. He points to what seems like an empty patch of grass. Henry, shoot an arrow that way, head height. Incrid's glare is absolute. Shoot. Henry trusts him and lets the arrow fly straight into the head of a hidden enemy soldier. The squad is floored. They were walking right into an ambush. Without a second's pause, Incrid draws his sword and charges forward. Follow me, Andrew. Andrew, shocked but resolute, grits his teeth and follows close behind. Incrid's plan is simple: to fight with the upper hand, you have to be the one who strikes first. He leaps into the enemy lines, cutting down a soldier before they can even react. You don't survive an ambush. You become the ambush. Incrid bursts into the fray, stunning an enemy soldier who screams for his men to strike back. Too late. The blade flashes in a swift, lethal slice across the man's throat. His strategy is simple: exploit their confusion to thin the herd, fast. He knows if Andrew follows, their chances of survival skyrocket. Andrew has no choice. Down to 8 men, the enemy is fully nerfed. The tides have turned. The ambushers are now panicking, screaming for help as Incrid's squad descends like a hungry wolf pack. He leads the charge, his makeshift unit rallied and ready for a real fight. His orders are simple and brutal: kill them all. And just like that, the slaughter begins. Incrid explains this tall grass hides everyone. That's why the enemy found them first. But wait, what's that creature? Turns out they weren't after the scouts at all. They were hunting a panther. One soldier curses the beast, trying to take it down with a spear. Too late. Incrid strikes first. That's when Incrid connects the dots. The enemy stumbled on his unit while chasing the panther. This time, the panther's distraction lets his squad flip the script. Incrid decides his furry little accomplice won't die easily. With the last enemy dispatched, Henri shouts that they're finished. No time wasted. Incrid orders them out, sparing a glance for the panther now following close behind. They suffered 1 casualty, leaving 6. Incrid muses that even with infinite retries, he couldn't save everyone. Still, this is his most successful run yet. They press onward. Thanks to countless repetitions, he knows every enemy's exact number and location. He knows going straight means 30 crossbowmen, so he orders a hard right, bypassing the ambush entirely. The plan: hit-and-run tactics, taking out key targets like spearmen to break the enemy's encirclement piece by piece. The constant fighting takes its toll. Andrew looks like he's about to collapse. The sun is setting. They need to escape now, or risk being trapped in the dark. Time to speedrun this. But instead of the exit, Incrid leads them deeper into the field. His men are confused, but Incrid insists this is the only way. He shuts down argument, his expression unyielding. Just follow me. One of the soldiers, the bearded dude, has had enough, stopping Incrid with a blade to his throat. You should act right, Captain. He refuses to follow Encrid to his death. He'll kill him if he has to, just to survive. Encrid coolly replies that he should know better. It's already too late to turn back. He explains their retreat path is swarmed by enemies. Following him is their only option. Then, he says, I want to survive too. Andrew watches, his entire perception of Encrid shifting. He'd written him off as useless trash. Just another failure like his own father who drank away their wealth and gave up on everything. But that wasn't it at all. This new commander reminds him of someone else. He remembers visiting his father on his deathbed. His father said their noble house was finished. His father's dying wish for Andrew to become a leader, earn trust, and rebuild their family's name. Encrid, he's the kind of man Andrew's always wanted to be. A man who paves the way. Encrid's voice cuts through the memory. Trust me, we will survive this place. That's all Andrew needs. I trust you, he says, Captain Encrid. The other soldier starts to object, but Andrew cuts him off. Encrid is the captain now. A squad follows the orders of its captain. The dissenting soldier falls silent. The matter is settled. With his authority secured, Encrid gives the order, follow him, stay low, wait for his signal. Encrid's plan unfolds. Step 1, ambush the enemy and break their encirclement. Now for step 2. The squad moves forward, stopping suddenly at a clearing. The ground ahead is covered in thousands of arrows. The men are speechless. This is it, the critical passage Encrid found after dying dozens of times. It only exists at this exact time, in this exact place. A hidden path that lets them slip past the enemy without a single fight. And just as predicted, huge enemy patrols march right by, completely oblivious. The squad stays low, holding their breath as the enemy passes just feet away. Everything has gone exactly according to plan. Now, for the last step. As night falls, Encrid reveals why they failed to escape this field every single time before. Emerging from the tall grass, he announces to his shocked squad, "We've arrived." The squad's faces fall into despair. No escape route here. They're staring right at the enemy's main camp. Encrid knows why this place is a kill zone. The enemy hides something here, slaughtering anyone who gets close. A closer look reveals a horrifying truth. Their flags are made from the bones of their victims. His logic is simple. What happens when something more important than catching them occurs? With cold resolve, Encrid gives the order, "Let's go." He's betting if they create enough chaos, an escape path will open. And with that, he leads the charge. That's a wrap on this recap. Hit that subscribe button to help us keep pumping out awesome content. Catch you in the next one.